All right, y'all. So before jumping into the rest of the video, and I know this is a little blurry, but I just wanted to show you how I found my seat. If you just go to car-part.com, you can go ahead, select a year of model you're looking for. However, select something that isn't actually available for the make or model that you're looking for. So for this example, we'll select 1900. Because on the next screen, it's actually going to allow you to select a range of cars, so you're not just locked into a single year. So for me, we'll just use the Mustang again as an example, and then we're going to go ahead and find the front seat, and then you can sort by distance or from your area, which I'm assuming most people want to do. We'll just punch in a quick zip code around Minneapolis, hit search. This is the screen, like I said, then that allows you to select a range. So we'll go ahead and just select all of the ranges for a Mustang, hit search, and then it will do its search and then return all of the seats for that specific model in your area. And happy hunting.
What's going on, y'all? Mike, we're back. So I'm running out the door. The only reason I'm in my garage is to explain a couple things. So it's a mess out here. I apologize. I was just finished remodeling a bathroom. Down here, I've got the Next Level Racing FGT Elite 160 Ferrari Edition frame. We're going to get that put together. The reason I'm standing in my garage is because we're going to be heading to a junkyard to pick up a seat out of a Mustang. What I wanted to do, because I've got this Viper back here, is I wanted to use the seat out of that and get a better seat in the driver's seat. But seats for that car were like $600. So we're going to go out and get a seat out of a Mustang, which should be fine. We're going to use that to mount it to that so I have a real car seat on the thing and call it a day. Also, there'll be another video of taking some things out of that TV to hopefully create the bezel-less experience on the TVs. But anyway, let's head to the junkyard, pick up the seat, and then we'll put together that sometime this morning. Hey, what's going on? Just got out of the salvage yard, and so I've got the Mustang seat back there. It's a little moisture. It was out in their little shed thing outside. Just a little foggy today. Nothing that nothing can't be cleaned up. So running home with that. Paid $150 for a leather seat, passenger seat out of a 2014 Mustang. And the reason I grabbed the passenger seat is usually they're in kind of better condition than the driver, and so it doesn't matter when it's sitting on a sim rig. So gonna head home and build that cockpit. All right, everyone, just got back with the seat. So this is why I went with this. So for $150 out of a salvage yard, I think this was probably out of it was a 2014 Mustang. Probably a GT, I'm assuming. It's leather, but it's got the manual track, which works nice on the cockpits. You could use a power seat if you put a transformer under it and wanted to hook a battery to it, which I thought about doing, actually. But I mean, the seat's in beautiful condition, and it's going to be, I mean, if you want an actual, like, racing seat, yeah, you could certainly go get something from from Amazon or from Next Level, right? They have some things like that. But to go get a leather seat just out of a car, I think just looks awesome. The only thing, like I said, I went with the passenger seat because the driver wasn't in great condition. So you'll still be able to see some things that would generally hide under, like on the side of the dash. But all right, so here we are. Next thing we have to do to get this thing mounted is we're going to have to remove these brackets from the seat so we can just mount directly to the stand. So that bracket and these brackets right up front here. And so we're just going to use an angle grinder to grind off those rivets, pull off those brackets, and then we can mount it to the cockpit. So let's do that.
All right, so right here, I'm just going to explain what happens because I don't get through everything on this part of the video, and I did lose some footage. So I'm grinding the bolts out of the first set of brackets on the tracks. I actually don't need those brackets to be on there because we mount the track directly to the frame or to the cockpit. On this back part, those brackets I couldn't get grinded out, but because of how much space that I'm actually working with the cockpit, I actually ended up just having to cut that bracket off, and ended up having to drill a couple new holes so we could mount it to the aluminum extrusion and get that mounted back onto the cockpit. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Like I said, I lost a little bit of footage, but I will pop the seat off the cockpit and show you how everything goes together. So let's take a look. All right, so here is how this ended up. So you can see I don't have the brackets on here any longer. So that front bracket that was on is removed. If we go up here, you can see the rear bracket's also removed. What I want to point out is this is where I cut off that rear bracket that we just saw in the video that I was having trouble grinding. Now, the reason I cut it off was because after measuring where these were going to need to be mounted within the seat, I realized I didn't need any of that anyway, and I was going to have to drill another hole into here to mount the aluminum pieces that go to the cockpit. So if we just turn around quick and look at the cockpit, again, let me just zoom out. These are the two pieces that will go into this. And so if I just swing back around here, those two pieces just stretch across here and they are screwed in. So I'll show you how that looks in a minute, and also show you the sliding functionality that's kind of default with the with just, you know, your standard car seat. What I will say, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get a really good shot of this, so let me pull this off and just see if I can. Within these tracks, it's very low profile, and so I actually had to order some low profile button head screws, and you really can't see them. They are really low profile, and I'm not going to be able to zoom in here. But because of how the tracks roll and they screw into here, I wasn't able to use a standard hex cap screw in here. So I had to order some very low profile button head screws so the tracks would still work correctly. So let me mount this back to the seat and you can kind of see the functionality of how it works on the cockpit. Hey, what's going on, guys? So let's just take a quick look at the functionality. Have that frame that we talked about mounted here, and then this one mounted up front. This one can also adjust kind of the angle if you want to go up or down. I'm in a pretty good angle right now from where I sit, but like I said, you can slide up, slide way back, but really nice to have that kind of functionality. So so there it is. Let's have a quick wrap up. So there it is. My recommendation, if you're going to get a seat for your sim rig, get a real seat out of a real car from either a salvage yard or a junkyard. If you're looking at how to find something like that in your area, depending if they're in the directory, you should be able to go to car-part.com and search for a variety of cars in your area, or even nationwide, I guess, if you wanted to. My only tip there is, so you don't have to search specifically for a year, would be when you're selecting the year of a car, select like 1900, and then on the next screen you'll be able to actually select a range of years for the vehicle that you're looking for. So yeah, so happy searching, and if you have any questions, leave a comment below.